Hey gang, Jane here, and I'm back today with another fun crochet technique tutorial. Today, I'm going to share a simple but effective crochet tip to level up your crochet skills. I love to work with a lot of colors, so I'm always joining new colors into my work. My usual method has been to use a simple slip stitch join and then work a single crochet into the same stitch. It's pretty common. This, however, always creates what looks like two stitches in the same space, which when you're working with a lot of color and changing it every row, it tends to stand out. I know there's a variety of ways to deal with this, but today I want to share a method that I've played around with and I like how it works for me. You can find more information and visuals on this technique over on my blog. I'll leave the link in the description below. So let's jump in and take a look at today's technique. First, let's compare the two methods so we can see what we'll be working on today. So let's take a look here at the original method and see if I can point this out. So I left the ends where I started, or where I finished off really, so that I could tell exactly where, but it's easier to tell on this one because this is the old method. So if we go back to the green, you can actually find it without the end, but it is right here. So I'll get my needle and we'll just take a look here. This is the stitch that we started in, and you can see that there's a full stitch in there in addition to the first single crochet. That's what it looks like. So compared to the one beside it where there's only a single stitch, it's a little bulky. So let's go and look at the beige, which is the next round. And you can see right here, again, there's another full 2 loops in there in addition to the first stitch. And this just comes from joining with a slip stitch. That's what it looks like. And then finally on the purple round, which we did 2 single crochets into each chain space, so it's even going to be more obvious because now it looks like you have 3 single crochet into that. So right here is almost like another whole crochet stitch. So you could say it's subtle, but when you're doing color changes, it really throws the symmetry off a little bit to be able to tell, well, everybody's 2 except for this guy. He's 3. It's almost like, why did you work an extra stitch in there, right? So let's take a look at the new version, and we'll go with the green one first. And here's where it's handy because when you look around, it isn't obvious where I started. So when I go to the back, I started here. So this stitch right here is where I started. And there's a single crochet in that space, no extra loops. It looks just like the ones beside it. Let's look at the beige, which is up here. I started here, and again, a single crochet in that loop, just like the ones beside it. And finally, the purple, where we did 2 single crochet in each space. Let's see, right here. So that means, this one is where I started. Again, 2 single crochet, just like the one on either side of it. So it gives a lot better of a symmetry look. Placing them beside each other in the same configuration, this is the old method, which is more obvious on that last purple round. And this is the new method. And you can see there's more stitches here than there is here. It's subtle, but it's definitely playing with the symmetry, and it really bugs my eyes to see this as opposed to this when every other stitch should be the same. Now, before I show you how to work the new method, I want to revisit the steps of the old method of the slip stitch join to get a basis for the hows and whys for changing it up to a new method. So I have a first row here done in white so that you can really see the color against it. So our original method of doing this is to insert our hook, draw up a loop. So that's how we join with the slip stitch. I can't go ahead and do a single crochet in the same stitch because if I put my hook back in again, I lose the loop that I just joined with. So we'll pull that loop back through. In order to do it properly, you would have to chain 1 and then go back into that same space and single crochet. And now I've basically created 2 stitches into that one space. This is the old method. Another option some people say is, well, just single crochet into the next stitch. And honestly, it just creates the same problem. I've done that in this one. So I slip stitched in one stitch and started the single crochet in the next, and it just creates the same problem on the other side of the stitch. So the slip stitch still creates that extra stitch. One more option I've seen people use to solve this dilemma of this first bulky stitch is to take their darning needle and they'll go back in after they've done the slip stitch and everything, the regular method, and they'll pull this one loop out. So let me just work that out. And I've seen this done and it works. And there you go. You're kind of, now you're left with 3 strands. So you have 1, 2, and 3 instead of that 4th strand, and that last strand can kind of hide in there. That's one way to do it, but I don't like that because you still have an extra strand in there. So now let's try the new method. Now I'm going to be demonstrating this new method a few times. Each time I'll point out different areas to keep an eye on in case you're having trouble with it. I'm also going to add in a really slowed down version closer to the end. And finally, I'm going to show you what to watch for if you're finding your stitches unraveling. So we hold our yarn and our piece together right around the area that we want to join. This will be the stitch I want to go into, but I don't want to go into it yet. What I want to do is grab this yarn behind first and loop it around my hook. So see how I have it looped around my hook from back to front? Then I'm going to go into the stitch I want, and I'm going to take the back of it and throw it over top of the hook. And then I'm going to work my single crochet. So I'm going to bring up another loop, 2 loops on the hook, and finish my single crochet. And that is how I like to join now. So then I would go ahead and do the stitch that I normally do, which is a chain 1, single crochet, and there you go. I have literally 1 stitch in that first chain space. So now I'm going to show you what to watch for when you do this. If we go back to that first stitch, what we would need to do at the end of the round is slip stitch into this first single crochet. So this loop right here, you can't pull that too tightly. So let's go back and see where that might happen. So I'm going to show you again, and this is when I'm going to show you not to pull too tightly. So I'm going to go into this stitch here. Not yet. I'm going to take the yarn from behind. My hook goes underneath it and back up so the yarn wraps around the hook. That's all I need it to do. And then I'm going to come to the front and go into a stitch, any stitch. And I'm going to take the end and put it over top of the hook. Or as you go in, you go under that strand. Then we wrap our yarn around and pull it through. And now we have 2 loops. This loop right here is your first one. You want it to be loose. You don't want that to be cinched right down, because that's the one you're going to have to slip into right here that I have my finger on. You're going to have to slip into that at the very end of the round to join your round. So make sure that's got lots of flexibility on it. So now we'll finish our single crochet by pulling through both loops on the hook. And see how I have a nice loop there? You want that to show. If there's no nice big loop there, then you're going to have a really hard time getting into it to join your last round. So let's go ahead and I'll show you what I mean with that last round. So when I get to the end of the round, I've done my last single crochet and a chain 1. I need to slip stitch in this, and that's that first loop we created. So see how I have to be able to get my hook in there? That can't be too tight. So you will, as you learn this, sometimes you're going to pull that too tight, and it's going to be frustrating because you're not going to realize it till you get around to the end and you're going to be like, I can't get into that stitch. But you only do that a few times before you are very aware not to pull that too tight. So this will be how you end the round. You slip stitch in that last single crochet, or you can do an invisible join, but today we're slip stitching. And see how that first one is literally just 1 stitch. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I love that. And I can slip stitch into it perfectly. And that would be how I would end the round. I know you guys like lots of demo and you like me to go slow. So if you're still with me and would like to see it one more time really slow, then let's do that. So we take our yarn and we have our cut end hanging down and it's looped over our finger. And then I take the piece I'm going to work on and I put it in front and I hold them together with my thumb. Then I take my hook, and before I go into any of the stitches, I go to the yarn that's hanging over my hand here, and I go under from, I'm right-handed, so I will go under from the left to the right, and the yarn loops over the hook. That's my first loop, and there's got to be some slack to that. Let me just move this yarn out of the way. So again, we've got the yarn with some slack to it. Now that I have this loop, I'm going to go into the stitch. So I'm going to choose this stitch, and as I go into that stitch, also go under the yarn at the back that is going to be left hanging. This is the cut end, I call it. You want that to be over top of your hook. You want to work it into that first stitch to secure it. Because we don't have the slip stitch, the stitch is going to be a little more wonky. So you want that to be secured in. Then we go ahead as if we're doing a single crochet. So again, we take our hook and wrap the yarn around, pull it through the loop, and always have lots of flexibility going on in this first stitch. See how I can move my hook easily? So these are the 2 loops that you would have for a single crochet. Then you go yarn around the hook again, and this time you finish the single crochet by pulling it through both loops. And there is your first stitch. Now, if you're finding your stitches unraveling, let's take a look at what might be happening there. When I go into this stitch, if I don't put this over top of the hook, let's say I just forget to do that, and I go ahead and I do my single crochet, and I did not put that cut end over the hook, here's what happens. This cut end becomes loose. It becomes rogue, and it can fall right out. It can actually completely unwrap. And now I'm back to just a loop, not a stitch. So it's very important that you make sure that this cut end, see how it completely unwrapped there? And now all I have left is a loop, not even a stitch. That's not going to work. So that is why it's important when you do this part that you make sure that cut end is over top of the hook. It has to be worked into that stitch for it to work, because if it isn't worked into the stitch, it's going to go rogue and untwist itself, and you won't have a stitch. So very important part of the process is to make sure that this cut end is on top of your crochet hook before you complete the single crochet. And when you pull the yarn through, it goes underneath. And this is worked into the stitch. So make sure that you do that so that this end, it can't untwist here. See, it's worked right into that stitch. And there you go. Now you have a new technique in your crochet repertoire. You'll find places where this works and places where it doesn't, and options are a good thing. So use this however it works best for you to create and enjoy making beautiful crocheted projects. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up, and remember to subscribe to my channel so you're sure to catch all my tutorials as they come out. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.